So I have got my paper stretched out on a board so that it would be nice and flat when it comes to make a card. And I've got a soft 6B pencil, a sable watercolour brush, and I've got this small Winsor & Newton Cotman watercolour set. And Cotman is their kind of mid-range, and I'm using this because it's cheap and simple. I'll put links to where you can get it on Amazon below, and let's see what happens. I'm going to start off by kind of planning. I think the vase is going to be about there, and I'm doing this very, very lightly, so I don't know if you're going to see it, but very, very lightly. And then there's going to be a kind of clump of flowers, and these are going to be kind of freesia type flowers, and I'm thinking of them as being vaguely star shaped like that. And then we'll do some more there and have them kind of going behind each other and all at different angles like that. And I'm pressing very, very lightly, because if I make mistakes and I want to erase anything, I can make them a bit smaller up here. Then if I want to erase anything, then the lighter you press, the easier it is to kind of erase stuff. So just get a kind of a balance of things like that. And this is going to be reasonably impressionistic, I think. And then we want some kind of side view ones, maybe just a bit like that, just fill in kind of spaces there. And then we're going to want these kind of, you know, buds that you get with freesias like that. And if in doubt and you're wondering what flowers to buy on Mother's Day or anything like that, freesias are always a winner because they just smell so beautiful. And you can't go wrong with freesias, really. And we're going to want some coming down here as well, over the top of the vase, like that. And I might make these more obvious, these ones like that. And now that that's there, I'm going to make the outline of the vase a bit more obvious too, I think. And you need a base for the vase as well. Now I've got a jam jar of water and I'm going to see what happens with these paints. So these freesias are going to be kind of yellows, and I'm just going to be quite free with this, I think. And they're going to be kind of yellows and reds mostly, I think. Let me think if we have sort of one there as well, like that. And then some of these will be on the tips, they'll be kind of turning a little bit. And you can add a bit more just to make them a bit more brighter. So while that colour is wet, and I'm just dropping in more colour. And then I might just kind of drop in some orangey red there, and along the sides these ones. So it's just playing. And now that I think the next colour, I'm going to make it more orangey with a bit more kind of red in them, and maybe freesias come in all sorts of colours, so you can kind of choose your favourite colourway. I've noticed now that there are some freesias, they're probably new varieties, which are much more blousy flowers, and they're obviously kind of been bred for having kind of pretty big flowers, but I think some of the centre's gone, so you kind of can't have everything, can you? Now those are kind of oranges, and then I'm going to move on to sort of kind of slightly more darker red. And if you've kind of followed my videos, and you've been following my videos, you'll be going, this is very, very different. I'm being really quite freeform here, just painting really, and which I don't often do. I'm kind of much more slightly meticulous usually, I think you might say. What colour is that? I don't even know what these colours are yet, so I'm learning about the colours in my palette here. And so I'm just kind of dropping darker shades in there, and I need to do some at the ends here as well. I'm still deciding what the vase is going to be. Vase. I say vase. If you're in the States, you probably call it a vase, do you? And it's kind of tomato thing. I'm imagining a kind of a dark green, kind of carnival glass kind of thing here. You see, I'm splashing these little splashes all over the place, which some people will be going, oh no, that's terrible. I'm not that bothered. Now, I actually meant to do this video yesterday, and I would have taken a lot more time, but my own mother, bless her, had a little turn, so I spent most of yesterday afternoon and in the evening in the hospital with her, getting checked out, but I think she's okay. I've got to go and pick her up later, so which is why I'm being a bit freer with this than normal. And tomorrow in the UK is Mothering Sunday. So while it's wet, this is called wet on wet, so while it's wet I'm kind of dropping colour in there, which works really well. So you get a kind of, and I'm kind of adding a darkish blue in on there, because they'll have that kind of shadow from the flowers up above. I meant to put more of a highlight here, but I kind of forgot. Because I'm thinking I've got to get a lot done today, and so I hope you're learning something from this. I think I am. That started to look good. I think with watercolour it's about kind of building up. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again on my watercolour videos, and I think there are times I've kind of felt a little self-conscious about repeating myself. I think I got over that. I think the essence of learning is repetition, and I think I'm not going to be worried about repeating myself on videos. So what I've said before is the thing about watercolour is that when you paint with oil paints, then you're actually applying colour to the page. Whereas here you're applying a transparent glaze. So think of this as kind of the difference between, you know, photographs and transparencies that you might take that you project up on the wall from your camera. And the light here is in the paper. It's the light is shining through the colours. So you lay them down very thin glazes and you kind of build up as you go along. And then maybe at the end you might put some spots of colour in just to highlight things. But I'm just going to put some dark in between some of these bits. Just hints of something going on. So it's all about building up. Now because I'm in a hurry, I'm using my hairdryer to get things dry. So I've been working wet on wet up until now. And now I'm going to go back to these colours and kind of add more and some. And you can see when it's dry, then you get a different kind of brush stroke. you get a whole new brushstroke on the top rather than it just kind of dropping the colour in. And so it's going to kind of... I'm just making it up as I haven't got I haven't got a picture in front of me. I got nothing in front of me. This is all coming completely out of my head, I should tell you. I was looking at pictures yesterday of freesias, and then we've got some white freesias in our kitchen at the moment. I was looking at the pattern on them, so that's given me a bit of an idea. But so this is all just loosely based on freesias. Now we go to this more pinky kind of colour there, and then so we're just kind of building up shades. And like I say, it's very much it's not actually impressionist, but it's more impressionist than realistic. And here you see, then I can, this is kind of adding to this green, but I'm just kind of adding on the sides just to add a little bit of shade and depth, which could be just slightly darker, I think, so I just add a bit more colour. So just on one side there like that, and then I want this to be quite much darker down there, and that'll be reflected down there. I'm trying to think what these colours are. Oh, that's burnt sienna. Okay, right. Okay. I'm just coming to tell them what these colours are. And in fact, in my normal set, this row is pretty much underneath. I might have to swap them over actually, because they're back to front to me. So I'm using colours in a different way than I normally would as well, because there's a different choice of colours to me. I'll put some little... These bits coming out from behind will have shade on them like that. I'm getting kitchen towel to dry my brush here, as I just kind of put this in there as kind of shadow. It's not shadow, it's kind of more intense hue, really, I think is probably what I'm trying to achieve. So these are kind of non-specific flowers. They're just shapes. I'm just having fun splashing paint around, basically. And I'm just thinking, this isn't really a how-to, is it? So I'm just going to call it Painting Flowers for Mother's Day. And I think we're going to need some... I'm going to need some shadow down below. So I'm trying to think what I'm going to mix. I'll get some of that blue and a bit of green and possibly a bit of red. Oh, let's get a nice purpley kind of colour in there. What am I going to... Trying to think what I need to mix in there. Probably a bit of burnt umber, and so just get me this kind of mixy thing kind of colour. I should just stick with the blue, actually. You know, just wash it away in a painterly kind of way. And then I think it's all about just darkening some bits up, I think, just to get that. By adding kind of extra layers, it just kind of gives a bit more definition to the whole thing, really, you know. Impressionistic kind of way, in which case you don't really want definition, but I'll drop a bit more colour in there, and I'm going to call that it. And I know my mother is going to go, that is so different to what you normally do. But then that's part of the fun. Try things you don't normally do, push yourself a little bit, get outside your comfort zone and enjoy. Have a go at doing something similar and just splash some paint around, and I'm sure your mother will be very pleased if you did something like that for her too. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, and if you did, go and learn how to draw this bunch of pansies using coloured pencils, or just have a go at the mystery drawing. Either way, make sure you're subscribed to the Shoo Rayner drawing channel. The new drawing videos every Monday and Friday, so this one's on Saturday. And why not go visit my website, shoorayner.com. In the meantime, keep drawing, practice, and I hope your mother has a really happy Mother's Day. I'll see you next time. You take care now. Bye bye.